Hello everyone, it's Kristen Redman, and today I'm going to do a video that not only talks about what's happening this week, but a major astrological event that happens that's going to make an impact on us all for the next 7 years. This is a major shift that's happening in the world of astrology. And so I decided, instead of trying to write it all out, it'd probably be easier to do a video. But they go hand in hand. Everything that's going on this week is going to make an impact on how this Uranus moving into Taurus is going to affect us in its 80-year cycle this time. So it carries a lot of the flavor of the other amazing events that are happening this week as well. So when you watch this later on, I mean, it could even be 2 years from now when you'll watch it and you'll say, well, I don't care about the Pisces new moon and I don't care about Mercury retrograde in Pisces, but it does all go together with the energy of the amazing shifts and changes that are going to be happening for the next 7 years. So it is vital, I tell you what, in astrology here. So let's just get right to it. All right, let's start out with let's start with Mercury retrograde, because technically that's what's happening first this week out there in the skies. So Mercury is the planet of communication. It's the planet of thought. It's the planet of how we process things, how we learn things, and how we communicate what we've learned to others. It's also about how they hear us. Mercury also deals with travel, and it also deals with the speed at the events as the events happen in our lives. Now, when Mercury retrogrades, it's usually 4 times out of the year. It's notoriously a bad time where communication itself goes backwards, because think of that, retro meaning the past. When a planet retrogrades, its qualities seem to go in reverse. So definitely over the course of the next 3 weeks is a time frame where it's going to be expected. There's going to be miscommunications. There's going to be missed emails. There's going to be calls that don't go through. Your computer's going to be on the fritz. Like, there's a lot of things that go into that Mercury retrograde. That's normal for any Mercury retrograde period. It's also a time where you don't want to sign any contracts, anything like that, because what's going to happen is it's going to be delayed. Not that it won't work out. I think that's a misconception a lot of people have, is that if they sign a contract in that time frame, it's not going to work out. I mean, that's a possibility, but the thing is it's just going to delay it even worse. And you may find that the paperwork gets lost and then everything falls through and you have to re-sign everything again and you have to go through everything again. It's just highly advisable not to. Anyway, but this Mercury retrograde is a little bit different because it's going into the flavor of this Uranus moving into Taurus that's happening this week as well. And so this Mercury retrograde has us looking back and thinking about all things Pisces. And Pisces is the sign that deals with our spiritual self, our spiritual health. Its opposing sign, Virgo, deals with physical health, but Pisces is all about our spiritual health, our subconscious health. And so when we have situations like this where Mercury moves into Pisces, like it does every year, that gives us a chance to reboot how our subconscious mind is working, clear away any clutter that's in there, remove any blocks that can be in that third eye or in our crown chakra that prevent us from being able to hear what our spirit guides and what our subconscious mind and our higher self is telling us, and what our dreams are telling us as well too. So this is a really powerful time during this 3-week Mercury retrograde to really step back and go, okay, how am I disconnected from my spirit? How do I want to strengthen that? Do I want to take up yoga? Do I want to take up meditation? Do I want to just start going to church again? Whatever it is that helps you get into that vein of energy that is God, and to really strengthen that connection that you have with our creator. Okay, not just your spirit guides. We're talking about the main source here. That's what Pisces helps us to do. And everything that's happening this week is a pivotal event that happens to recalibrate that main connection we have with the source. And as it recalibrates that, it goes into that big transit that's happening for the next 7 years with Taurus moving into Uranus moving into Taurus. So let's just talk about that, because I keep talking about it and you're probably like, what in the hell are you talking about, Kristen? Okay, so what we have out there in the sky is this planet called Uranus. And it's way, way, way out there, right? I mean, that puppy's the second to the last planet that's out there in our solar system. And Uranus is an interesting planet. I tell you what, it's known as the rebel planet because it will go out of orbit. It moves on a 180-degree tilt where all the other planets don't. It'll go backwards when it's supposed to go forwards. It's just unpredictable is the thing with Uranus. You never know what to expect with that physical planet out there. Now, in terms of astrology, it takes on that same type of unpredictable energy. So whenever Uranus makes a contact to another one of our planets, it can bring something through quickly and abruptly, and it can make some major, major changes. Well, it does. That's the thing. And you never know what to expect. It can be really good or it can be really bad. But no matter what it does, is Uranus is making these huge events happen because it knows that it needs to push us outside of where we are stagnated and where we need to have new beginnings that are going to happen that are going to push us to new layers of growth in our life, where our soul is meant to be now. Uranus's main goal in the world of astrology and in your natal chart and all of our birth charts is where our true authentic self lies. So when Uranus makes a contact to one of the planets in your natal chart, that's where us astrologers come in handy. It shows where you are starting to be liberated from certain things and where you're feeling this restless push on the inside to make major changes in your life. Now, for the past 10 years, it's been a while, not 10 years. Yeah, just about 10 years. It's been 9 years where Uranus has been moving through Aries. And I tell you what, that has been such a dramatic and traumatic change for my Aries folks out there. I tell you, because Aries is a sign that knows who they are and what they want. And when Uranus comes through, remember, this is the planet that wants the true authentic you to come out. And as it does, it's been making those Aries folks go, do I know who I am? Who am I? What am I? And it's created this amazing, I call it amazing turmoil, right? But I can guarantee my Aries friends aren't going to agree with that one there. That it's pulling at these areas deep inside of them that almost puts them in a depression because they forget who they are and why they're here. But as it's moved out, now it's a matter of them going, you know what? I do know who I am and where my soul is moving forward. And they see the blessing that Uranus is. Maybe some things had to be let go, right? Old ways, old patterns, old karmic beliefs, old baggage, whatever it is. Uranus lets you know how it needs to be let go. And if you don't let it go, I tell you what, Uranus is going to make it let go for you. Now, as it moves into Taurus, though, this is huge. Our Aries friends are fine. I mean, that impacted all of us. This wasn't just Aries. It was a questioning of all of our identity, because that's what Aries represents, is the self. So a lot of us have had that since 2010. Who am I? Where am I going? And what do I want to do? And a lot of series of eclipses also bringing that to the surface as well. Now what's happening is I think we have a little bit better clarity on who we are and what we're doing, right? And now we got to make it happen. And that's exactly what happens as Uranus moves into Taurus for the next 7 years. Okay. Kind of started a little bit last year. And to see how it's really going to make these major impacts and changes for you personally, think about what happened in your life, all right, from the beginning of May in 2018 up until December of 2018, because that's when Uranus started its first tour of Taurus. Then it retrograded, went backwards, went back into Aries, where all of our Aries friends were like, yay, I'm free from it. It came back again. Do you really know who you are? You know, that's what it was doing. And that's what it was questioning. And so here we are. Think about that. What major events changed? What happened for you where you had to stand up for yourself and what you wanted, and areas that you knew had to change that really made themselves known, okay? What events happened in your life that dramatically changed the trajectory of your life, and what realizations did you come to in that time frame? Uranus going through Taurus in the next 7 years is going to make those things really come into tangible reality, because that's what Taurus is. Tangible, physical, real. It deals with the second house in astrology, which is all things that have to do with the physical body. It deals with our finances. It deals with our physical earth as well. So as we find Uranus, that planet of crazy, unexpected electric energy coming through, it's going to bring for all of us on a global scale major transformations and changes and radical shakeups in terms of finances. Let's start with that one first, okay, for money. Now you got the planet of freedom going into the sign of money and finances. This is something where it's going to push all of us to achieving financial independence over the next 7 years. And I highly, highly believe that that's something that can be attainable. I know it sounds like a weird old pipe dream, but I know that this is something there's going to be major unexpected events that happen that help each one of us get to that point. We just have to listen and jump when we're supposed to on those things. But also financial freedom for the world as well. Changing our financial systems, our banking systems, our worldly debts, our country debts, all of these types of things, and how our currencies work. This is something where I could actually see physical paper money disappearing by the time that this transit is done, because it's outdated and it's no longer fitting for where we are as a society as a whole. Because that's what Uranus does, right? It pushes you out of the old that doesn't work anymore and puts you into an area that is better fitting now. So that's just on a financial standpoint. But then we go to, let's think about the earth. Look at all of the events, weather events that have been happening in our earth. These crazy weather patterns, these unbelievable amounts of high tides and these supermoons, and the increased amount of forest fires, and all of these things that are happening that are radically changing our environment and our landscape as well. These are the things that have been feeling Uranus moving in to Taurus for quite some time. And this is what's starting these major patterns and changes in our weather. So you'll see some crazy weather patterns, especially this year, because this is the first year that it's really getting its roots into Taurus. And Taurus is a sign that's very stubborn and it doesn't like things in there, let alone the rebel planet that's going to shake it up and completely change it, right? Now think of it like that too. Our world doesn't like that radical shift and change, right? Doesn't like it. Think about that for our Taurus friends. You feel the same way. You've been feeling Uranus coming towards your sign for a while, right? This is something that hasn't been there for 80 years. This is an 80-year transit, and it's never been in your sign before. So you feel this rebel yell coming into you, and it's the rebel yell within you that's also starting to scream out as well, saying, hey, what the hell is happening here? Taurus is the sign where they shoulder a lot of burdens. They carry a lot because they're the sign that wants security and stability for everyone around them. So they end up being the hub of the wheel that is the safety and the security that everyone around them depends on. And this is an energy where it's almost like, you know what? I want to take care of you and everything, but I need to start doing stuff that's better for me. I want to take better care of myself. I want to devote more time to me as opposed to everyone, which may come as a shock to the people around Taurus because they're so darn used to the Taurus being there and helping them. So this is something that's going to dramatically change our Taurus friends as well over the course of the next 7 years as well. Dramatic changes in your lives. Now, when I say our Taurus friends, it's not just if you have your sun sign, okay, in Taurus. If you do have your sun sign in Taurus, it's going to radically change various areas in your life and your outlook, and ultimately pushing you on why your soul came here to be a Taurus in the first place. Helping you make that money, helping you achieve that financial independence, and helping you to sustain that for generations to come based off of the hard work that you've put in, taking better care of your health, getting that under control, these are things that are going to be highlighted if you have your sun in Taurus. If you have your moon in Taurus in your birth chart, this is a time where it's going to be a major emotional change for you over the course of the next 7 years, because our moon deals with our emotional self on the inside, as well as our mom, and how we mother others, mother ourselves, nurture others, and our home and our family. That all falls into that moon type energy. So major shifts and changes in those areas for the next 7 years there. But if you have your ascendant, this is a major personality change, because our ascendant in our chart represents, that's where our birth time is so important in our chart, because that sets the beginning part of our chart, known as our ascendant or rising sign. And so when you have your Taurus ascendant, if you have a Taurus ascendant, this is where it changes your personality. I didn't even explain that, because our ascendant, birth time, that's how we appear to the world. That's our personality. That's how we act in the world, how we operate, and it's the mask that we wear to the world. And when you have Uranus coming up against that sign, that part of your chart, that highly personal angle beginning of your chart, it's a major reset on everything of who you are and the way that the world sees you. So radical changes for our friends that have Taurus ascendants coming up in the next 7 years as well. But for the remainder of us, this is going to be a big time frame for us to all embody those qualities. Depending on where it hits in your chart, it'll bring freedom in whatever area. But as a whole, I think this is a wonderful thing for us all in terms of finances, advancements in the healthcare industry, just amazing things to come with that. So not only do we have this energy, think of that, it's amplified and this carries through, because not only do we have this mental reset happening as Mercury, the planet of the mind, is in Pisces, that goes from March 5th to March 28th, having us really reassess how we work on a subconscious level. Taurus is all physical, right? And Pisces is all subconscious and spiritual and everything that we can't see. So we're getting this reboot about how we perceive things and manifest things that ultimately are going to manifest into tangible reality, which is Taurus is all about. You see how the two work together, right? You got to have this guy operating on all cylinders to make it come out in tangible reality where you can hold it with your hands. They work together. So not only do we have this Mercury retrograde happening at the same time, at the end of the week, we have the Pisces new moon. One time a year, we have the new moon, where the moon is in the sign of Pisces and the sun is in the sign of Pisces, and they align. And that's called a new moon. So it looks dark out there in the sky because you can't see anything at night because the moon's blocked out. You don't see it. When we have new moons, it's about new beginnings. And this is all about new beginnings, isn't it? This week, with the energy that's around it. So this is new beginnings for that spiritual connection with the divine source, right? The stronger we make that connection, the stronger we can manifest the things that we want in our lives and hear the answer to the things that we're asking for. Because it's not like, we come here on this earth and we want to achieve certain things. We want to break certain patterns. We want to break karmic cycles. And that's what Uranus helps us do, is break free of those things, right? It's not going to be comfortable. Life isn't guaranteed to be comfortable, is it? You know that just as much as I know that. It's not guaranteed. But I tell you what, that's why our soul came here in the first place. We knew it was going to be hard, but we knew this was the best way to do it for our soul's ultimate growth, lifetime after lifetime. And this is a time frame where we can really break free of these things as well. So in the cycles of the new moons is the best time to really plant those seeds of manifesting, of hope for what it is we want to have coming in the future. Pisces helps us to visualize and feel, because it's a water sign. It helps us feel that what we're asking for is actually there, that it's already there, that our dreams can become reality. It's ruled by Neptune, the planet of dreams. And this is a time frame where Mercury in retrograde in Pisces helps us to dream like we're kids again, where we believe these things can happen, where we don't have that lifetime of hurts and sadness and realizations and responsibilities that make it seem like we don't have that ability to dream big. All right. This is a time frame where the new moon and the Mercury retrograde in this sign helps us to dream like a child again and think that anything can happen. And as we do, think of that. It's setting the seeds for the next 7 years with that faith that you're putting out there, that what you're asking for will come to fruition. Tangible results, right? That's what this is all about. That's what this week is about. Man, this video ended up being 20 minutes. I was not expecting that at all. But this is something that you can look back on a number of times over the next several years and feel some reassurance. Now, to see how it impacts your chart specifically, please reach out to me. My Facebook page is right there. Get a hold of me. We can look at your chart and see how it impacts you. It's amazing what a tool astrology is for helping us understand who we are, why we've come here, and how to better understand just the events that are happening in our lives. It's a beautiful tool. But for all of us, just know that this is going to be an interesting week. And I think March is going to be an interesting month. This is by far the most active month astrologically. And this is the most active week astrologically. That's why I decided I'm going to do a video about the whole week too and put it all into here for this year. For 2019, this is a pivotal time frame. All these threes, all of this, it's what this year is about. The numerology of it is about creating new. And so this reset that's happening this week is going to help it so you can create the life and the new path that you're looking for, that's fitting for who you are now. So everyone, I'm going to stop. I'm going to take a drink because I'm really, really thirsty now after all that. But I thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to subscribe to my videos, follow me on Facebook, get updates about what's happening out there in the skies, and just listen to what your soul is telling you. Slow down and listen to what your soul is telling you this week, because it's giving you some insight on what's coming for the next 7 years for you. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful week. Bye.